Hello everyone, my name is Teresa and I'm back with another video on how to use Notion as your ultimate checklister. So let's dive right in. This video is going to talk about how to use the platform or application or software known as Notion to plan an audit, okay, or to make sure that you're on top of your audit checklist. Is that okay? By highlighting various parts of the audit checklist that you need to focus on based on priority or based on status or probably based on review date. Is that okay? So for as you can see from here, this is an audit checklist based on NIST 853. So I would share the link in the description below so you can have a better look at it. So these are um the control IDs and then the family and the control name and what the control simply means and the description over here. So right now we're dealing with an imaginary organization. It's okay. This does not depict the real status of any organization. It's an imaginary one. So under status, you can see we have in progress. Under owner, there's an owner for it, and then reviewer, and then priority, whether it's high, low, medium, and then we also have review dates. Under status, we have in progress, compliance, and non-compliant. Okay. So as I said, I've already populated this table, which will help us with our next step with Notion. So Notion, like I said, is an app or platform software that is used to plan tasks or track tasks. Is that okay? So Notion will help us make more sense of this Google Sheets table. It will also help us focus on the ones that are more important, the controls that need to be dealt with in terms of the ones that we are not compliant with, and for the ones that are in progress, how we need to speed things up so we can meet the review dates. Is that okay? So right now I'm going to open my Notion software. Okay, you should be able to see my screen now. I've already gone ahead to do most of the things I want to do here, but I'm going to go over the process again so that you can also do it from your end and make sure that you're able to use the Notion app to its full capacity. So this is my interface that I'm supposed to work on. As you can see, the table here, show all. The Google Sheet table I previously showed, as you can see, it was imported into the Notion platform, after which I was able to making sense of it by through populating various views. It's okay. So this is a board view. This is the calendar view. There are lots of views actually, and I'm going to show you how to populate or come up with all of them. And it's because we have the table, we have the calendar view, we have the table view, we have the gallery view, we have charts and list view. So okay, so for the purpose of this video and not to make this video so lengthy, we're just going to talk about the board, calendar, table, and gallery view. Is that okay? So let's do it again because I've already done this one. So I want to take you through the process again so that you can also do it from your end. So you just go to, let me start. So once you open your Notion platform, you'll be asked to sign in and all that. And then you come under team spaces, is that okay? And then you click on add new. So here, as you can see, there's an empty page, empty database built with AI um, and a whole lot. So you can just click on empty page because we already have our data from an Excel sheet. Yes, it's okay. So you click on the data because our data is in the form of an Excel sheet and we need to import it. Does that make sense? Yes. So we go to import and you go to CSV. So before you come here, you need to make sure that you've already saved your document in a CSV file, exactly which I've already done, which you can do on the Google Sheets platform and download, where you get to choose options to save it as an Excel sheet or a PDF sheet or a CSV file, which I've already done here. So this is my NIST compliance control sample. So you open, you map CSV headers. So here on your left or my left hand side, you need to make sure that the data set is accurate. So the control ID is a title, the family is a text, the control name is a text, the description is a text, the status is a select one because you get to choose between compliant, non-compliant, and in progress. The owner is a text, the receiver is a text, the priority to is a select option because you get to choose between high, medium, low, and then the review date is edit. So you're okay with that. So you just put CSV. Let's give it a few minutes while it does that. As you can see, it's buffering. I don't know, it's taking too long, but probably the network. But let's just give it a few minutes. Hmm. Um, I don't know why this is happening, but it should have been imported by now. Okay, let's take it again. Maybe probably because I already have a team space labeled the same way. I need to change the name of the file. So let's go to that route and see. Okay, so rename. Let's just name it NIST tutorials. Right. So let's go back and go to the import again. So import and CSV, choose file, NIST tutorials, open, and then map CSVs, then import. Right. So I think because of the name being the same, that's why I was taking forever. So right now we have our table here incorporated into Notion with the title NIST tutorials. As you can see, you can add an icon. Let's do that. Something very brief. Just a brief case will do. You can add a description here. So a tutorial. So a tutorial on making use of Notion. And then you could also add a cover, like a picture in the background, just to make your workspace nice. This will especially be important when you're working with other people and you are probably the owner of the same space. So you would want them to have like a nicer view of what you've done. Is okay. So we've applied all that. So essentially, this is a table. But like I said, Notion is an app that simplifies tasks. Is okay. And this is an audit checklist. So obviously there are things to be done, or there are things that the checklist is going to ask you to do in accordance to whatever the table is about. So this is a NIST checklist. And from our table, we can see that there are some controls that we are not compliant with, and there are others that we are compliant with, thankfully, and there are others that are in the progress, we are in progress of complying to them. So how then do you single out the compliant ones, and then the non-compliant ones, and then the in progress ones, so that you can get to focus solely on those ones? Is that okay? So um, hold on, right? Okay. So in doing that, um, in doing that, do you see this arrow here? It allows you to add a view of what you want to concentrate on at the moment. So, okay, so first and foremost, we'll go with the board. Like I said, for the length, so this video is also lengthy. We'll just focus on board, chat, calendar, and then gallery. Okay, so let's go with board. So the first one will be board. So for board, right, so for board, as you can see here from what I had previously done, so we can, from the board view, we can group the controls by compliance, in progress, and non-compliance. So by status. Is that okay? So back to our tutorials, we can label this. So you go to settings, and then go to edit properties. So you can add a description if you want, and then you can also change the title. So board view by status. So here we're just going to filter the controls by status. So we'll get to see the ones that we are compliant on one side, the ones that are in progress on the other side, and the ones that are non-compliant on the other side. It's like this way, when you look at this view, you can quickly focus on the non-compliant ones without having to shuffle through the compliant and in progress ones. So the layout is a board, as I already said, and then property visibility. So we want to, like I said, by status. So we obviously status needs to be seen, and then also control ID is also important, but sometimes the control ID might not be able to tell what control this is, so we need a control name to over there, and also a description of what the control is, but the description is quite long, so you can just take it out. And then in terms of status, we also need who the owner is, so I can reach out to the person when there's a need to, because right now we are looking at compliance, non-compliance, and all that, and then probably a review date as to when we want this sorted out. So as you can see, we have high, low, and medium on the other end, which is being covered by this. But we don't want that. We want the colors to be in such a way that we have compliant, non-compliant, and in progress. So you can do that setting here. You can work on that here, color setting. So that is status that we're looking at the moment. So you can use status. So if it's in progress, we would like it to be in pink, but we can change that later. So if it's in progress, the color should be, so in progress means we are getting there, so yellow is fine. Then we add another one, status, and the status, if it's compliant, I feel like the best color will be green because we are already there, like as in like goal. Yeah, and then also add another color, status. So if it's non-compliant, if status is non-compliant, so if non-compliant over here, we want to give it red because we are yet to start, isn't it? No, that's not red. That's orange. This should be red. Right. So like I said, we don't want to group it by priority, like high, low, this. So how do you work with that? So here you can see group, isn't it? So we don't want it by priority. We want it by status. So you can easily change that to status, right? And then you've got that. Okay. And then we can also change the colors to suit the color of the cards, like I was saying. So if you're non-compliant, it's obviously it's red. So you can do that by just clicking on the three dots here. Red. So the tally, so we don't have like color blocking here. So this one in progress is yellow, so we can get yellow for that. And compliant, like I said, should be green because we are there. So this is the board view. So by looking at this, we both can see that all compliance have been grouped there, in progress has been grouped there, and non-compliance has been grouped there. So if we want to focus on just non-compliant, we just have to look to the right of the screen, isn't it? Unlike having to go to the table. Let me go back to this. Unlike having to go to the table and then just go through go through every cell to see which one is compliant and non-compliant. The board view will just give you like a straightforward view that these are your non-compliant from your data and they need to be worked on. These are the ones you are working on at the moment and they need to be quickly worked on so that they can move on to being compliant. So this is for the board view. So our next so to create another board view again, it will be to just go through the same process, which is to use a plus symbol, and then you come down. So let's go with chat. So the next one will be chat. Like I said, just for the little, we just deal with four of them. And then for chat, you can have so from what I'd already worked on, we have chats by priority. Exactly. So let's go back to the next tutorials. So this is our chat. And then you can always go to edit view and make your edit. So chats by priority. Okay. And then you can save, you can add a description, this one, and then the layout to be chats. And then okay, so because it's a free version, they're already saying I've already used my one free chat. So let's go back to what I'd already worked on to explain what I mean by the chat view. Okay, so this is a chat view. So chat view by priority just helps you to group your controls in one like big pie chart like this, where you're able to tell how many um how many of the controls you're compliant with, how many of the controls you're in progress or working on, and how many of the companies you are non-compliant with. So this way, just by looking at it and then hovering over that section, you're able to tell, oh, we are complying with four, which is 40% of the controls we hope to comply with, and then we are in progress for another four, which is 40%, and then for the non-compliance ones is two, which is 20%, which is okay, but we still have a long way to go. Is that okay? So that's for the chat view when it comes to by priority. All right. So the next view would be next view would be so we've already done board, we've already done chat. So our next review will be calendar. So this is calendar. So as we're already in the calendar would um help us focus on the review dates. Is that solely. So calendar and the review date. I guess and so this is the title, and then of course I've used the calendar which has already been selected. And we want the calendar to show the review dates only, isn't it? And that's the only option here because for calendar the only data available from our data is just the review dates and show calendar as month, which I think that one will be better instead of weeks. And then you can decide to show weekends or not, however you want it to be. And then click on done. And then you would realize that our calendar will be populated with review dates, with our review dates and with the control that's supposed to be reviewed on that particular date. So for this one, AC2, Real Access Control Account Management, you have all the description from all the data from our data source here. And it says that the review date is 1st September. But let's be sure that that's actually it. So let's go back to our original data set, which would be the first one, which is the show all. So it's like access control management. The review date is indeed 1st September, as shown on our calendar here. 1st September. If you like, you can add more details to this, okay, so that maybe someone who doesn't really know what AC2 is can make sense of it by just looking at it. So all you have to do is just you can just click here and then go to edit view. And then under property visibility basically means what you want to be seen on that particular view we are talking about here. This is our calendar view. And we want to see also the control name because the control ID might not be still coming somewhere everyone. Yeah, and then we also need to see the reviewer because we're looking at review data and so once the time is up, um, it will just be logical that we reach out to the reviewer. It's okay to ask how things are going. So once that's settled down, when you come scroll down, you would see again, you would see that we ask that the control name be showed and that the reviewer's name also be showed. So as can see here. So at first it was just AC2, but because we toggled the setting to show the control name and then the reviewer, that's why I have put these details here. So that it will make sense to anyone who doesn't know what AC2 solely stands for on its own without having this other two attached to it to make sense to them. So this is what the calendar view does. It will just show you when a particular review date is due, who the reviewer is, and then the control name as we have selected for this particular view. You can do more. You can decide to show more properties, probably show the owner too and all that by going through the same setting that we did. There's edit view and then under property visibility, you can choose to show all, you can choose to show some. And for me, I just like to show the control, and then reviewer, so that my screen doesn't look messy and clumsy and it's easy to navigate and understand. Right. So the next view, which I said we'll be talking about 4 views. We've done 3 so far. So the next one will be we've already done so new view. Hold on. This is supposed to be here. So we've done board, we've done chat, we've done calendar. Table is the same as the the show all. So for the new view, I did say the last one will be gallery. So this is gallery. So you can select gallery. Is that okay? So gallery, so from what I had already done previously, you can see that gallery view presentation cards. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Let's go back. So like I said, this is not supposed to be here. Because the table view basically is the same thing as this show, or which is the default view. So there is not much to it. So the new view, which should be gallery. So gallery by presentation cards. So card size will be medium, or let's make it small so I can see everything in one. And then page content, yeah. Okay, can see it done. So this is wait, so before we make any edits, this is how the gallery view looks like. So just like presentation cards of the various controls. Yeah, the reason why it automatically selects the control IDs is because it's the first column of our data source. Exactly. So if it was changed to something else, that would be the first one automatically selected. But like I said, you can edit it to add more information so that whoever does not really know what SA9 means outrightly can still make sense of it. So you have to do just click and then edit view. Once again, property visibility, you can decide to show whatever wants to be seen on the card. For us, for right now, I want us to see everything, so show all. Right, so upon clicking show all, you can see that everything, everything from our data table has been placed here. But in this way, it has been placed in such a way that you get to focus on every control ID individually, and everything under that control ID has been listed, as you can see. So if you want to focus on SA9, you can focus solely on it. As you can see, there's a description, there's the name, there's the family, there's the owner, there's the priority, there's the status, there's the reviewer, there's the review date. Is that okay? Yeah, so this one is a bit easier to just deal with a particular control all at once. Is that okay? But we can make it a bit colorful. It's too colorless. So you just have to click and again edit view. Then you can go to conditional color. Okay, so new color setting, and then we want to color our cards. Okay, based on we already did one for compliant, non-compliant, and in progress. So we can color our cards based on high, low, medium now, and that will be priority. So once you click on priority, as you can see, uh, the colors have been updated to suit whether it's high, low, medium. It's okay. So as you can see, low here is gray. That's why here is gray. Low here is yellow. That's why this card is yellow. So once you look at this view, once you see let me see, once you see yellow, you know that this particular um checklist is a low one. Is okay based on the status, and that maybe normal should be focused on it as compared to a high one. Is that okay? So this is all I have to say about Notion, and I'm going to publish what I've already done on the website, on the Notion website. Okay, so you can publish it as a website. Is that okay? All you have to do is just go to share and then use publish to publish it. So I'm going to publish what I've already done previously with a chart diagram, because in this tutorial I was not allowed to use a chart diagram because I've already used the one free one I was entitled to. And I'll put the link in the description so I can always go back to it and learn a thing or two about how to use Notion to keep track of your checklist and how to ensure that you focus on the checklists that really matter one at a time. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video and or next project. Bye.